practice exercise from MDN on creating our own return value function. So first thing we're going to do is make a local copy of the function library.html, which I've open over here. It's just an HTML file that has an input, which has a class equal to number input, and so we're going to enter a value in here. There's also a script element here where we've stored a reference to both the HTML elements. So we have a reference to the input and we have a reference to this paragraph. So we're pre-selecting those. So this is supposed to let us enter a number into the box, and it's going to display different numbers related to it in a paragraph below. So the first thing we're going to do is add some functions to the script. So below the existing lines in the script tag, we're going to add these predefined functions. So we can just copy and paste these out. And what these are going to do is some math formulas for us. So we've got a function for squaring a number, cubing a number, finding the factorial of a number. The factorial returns the factorial of a given number. So if you don't know what a factorial is, let's take a look at Wikipedia real quick. So factorials are an ever-increasing amount of numbers with some scientific notation associated to it. So it's a number to the factor of 10, 20, 30, 10,000, big numbers basically. So go back here. So that's what this is going to perform for us. Now we're going to include a way to print out all of this info into the text input. So actually not into the text input. We'll take the data or value that we put into the text input and print it out. So we're going to add an event handler. So far we're just kind of building our page, and we can take a look at the code and see what all of this is actually doing in a second here. So within, so this is after the functions we added. So on the input dot on change, we are creating an event handler. So we're using this anonymous function here, and we're saying when the input changes, meaning I put in a different value, we do all this stuff. So we're going to start with declaring a number constant, and we're going to take the value of whatever I put in. So if I put in 10, now num is equal to 10. Then we are checking to see if whatever I input is not a number. So we're starting with the worst case scenario here. So if I put in the word to, TWO, it's going to say TWO in this spot, and then it says if that's true, say this. So if TWO is not a number, we're going to say, hey, you need to enter a number. Otherwise, do all this. So the do all this is going to append the text content to the paragraph on the page. And it's going to take the number of value I put in. So if I put in 10, it's going to concatenate. It's going to say num plus squared is squared function value I submitted. So it's going to be 10 squared, period. And then it's going to say same number, so 10 cubed is cubed function. And then the last one is num, so 10 factorial is factorial of 10. So let's take a look and see in a second here what this will do. So we'll save this, we'll go preview in the browser, And since I'm using the example of 10, I'm going to put 10 in here. And let's see here. 10 squared is 100. 100 cubed is 10,000. And 10 factorial is 3,628,800. Let's try 100. So now every time I'm typing something in, I get a different value. So the whole point of looking through this is just to start to be able to read what's happening in each of these functions. And you're going to notice there's not a whole lot of logic that happens on squared and cubed. So all we're doing is saying a named function, taking a parameter, and then we're returning the math that's happening here, or the output product in these cases, of num times num. So 10 times 10, 10 times 10 times 10. This one gets a little more complex, so we're saying if the number is less than 0, return undefined. So our returns don't have to be an actual value. If the number is 0 with normal equality, we're only checking the value, not the type. It's going to return a value of 1. And then it says let x equal num minus 1, and then it's going to loop. So it's going to say while x is greater than 1, take the number times equal x, and then x minus minus. So it's basically, let's see, subtracting 1 from itself, looping, but multiplying itself again, and then multiplying by the next lowest value until it reaches the end of the possible values here. It's probably not the best explanation of factorials, but I'm sure somewhere that's important and used. So that kind of wraps up this quick little practice. Definitely spend a few minutes and read this code so you can start to understand how these functions are working. And then let's also test our non-number, so that works as well. So put in text, it says you need to enter a number. Put in 0, I get nothing. Put in 1200, I got some numbers.